Hi, kiddos. What we're going to run through real quick is just checking our work on text structure. We do two. All right, so here was our first one. Remember, I'm going to read it. Okay, while I read, I'm looking for signal words. Okay, I see this word right here, both. Okay, automatically, the first word in my passage is both. Another signal word I saw was both here again. Okay, and then what I saw here is this word common. Remember, we in our model, we talked about how common is when something is the same. It says, although they share common elements, it also says right here, they are very different things. Okay. It goes on to tell me how a hurricane is created and then how a tsunami is created. And it goes on to kind of tell me how they're created differently. And then I see this real nice signal word right here, this pretty little one that says in contrast. Okay, kiddos. So now that I've read through and I have my signal words, I'm asking myself, what is the author talking about here? Okay. Well, based on my signal words, if I go check that anchor chart that I've got, common, both, different, and contrast, all of those words are signals for compare and contrast. And I know when an author compares and contrasts, he talks about how two things are the same, how they're different, or how they're similar and different. So now I'm asking myself here, what is the author comparing? Well, the author's comparing hurricanes and tsunamis, and he's comparing how they're different, how hurricanes are formed versus how tsunamis are formed. Okay, so now that I have that good idea, notice, kiddos, I am doing all of that before I ever look at my multiple choice. Okay, I want to have a very clear idea in my head before I get over to the confusing multiple choice options. Because, kiddos, when we take tests, okay, and this week we are taking our interims in reading, that's how they're worded. And we want to be able to look at those multiple choices and have a really clear idea before we ever even look at A, B, C, and D. Okay, so here's A. The author wrote about the effects of hurricanes and tsunamis. He never told me what happens after a hurricane or after a tsunami. So I'm going to go ahead and do a hard no on that one. The author discusses the problems of hurricanes and tsunamis. Okay, I have background knowledge that tells me that there are problems with hurricanes and tsunamis, but the author does not talk about them here. The author compared how hurricanes and tsunamis are similar and different. Oh, I really like that one. Okay, I'm going to put a little star beside it because that's what I'm thinking. The author put the events of how hurricanes and tsunamis happen in order. No, he did tell me how hurricanes and tsunamis happen, but he did not put them in order for me. So my best choice here is C. But I'm not done. Number 2 says, what clues helped you answer number 1? Remember, I've got to cite it word for word. So this is the sentence I picked. Your sentence may not look like mine. It needs to be a sentence so that probably had a signal word in it and shows that the author is talking about hurricanes, tsunamis, how they're similar or how they're different. My sentence says, and I'll highlight it for you in a different color so you can see it. Although they share common elements, they are very different things. And I said that right there, word for word. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 2. I paused it by accident. Sorry. Let's look at number 2. Here we go. Well, there we go. All right, going through, I'm going to pull out some signal words as I read because that's step 1. Okay, I'm seeing this word here, dangerous. And remember, last week we had that model about the people who hike and come into contact with bears. When something is dangerous, something is a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna underline it just to maybe think what could be a problem here. Okay, as I kept reading, I saw this right here, one current solution. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so there probably is a problem going on here. Okay, it tells me about the solution, about the early warning system, and it's saying that it's giving me a warning system in the future. So when I stop and I think, what structure is this passage? I see that word dangerous. I see that one current solution, and it's telling me about how this solution could save people. I've got to think this is problem and solution. The author is giving me a clear problem, and then the author is giving me a clear way to fix it. So now I have to ask myself, what is the problem? Well, obviously, tsunamis. They're really, really dangerous, right? That's what it says. When something is dangerous, it is bad. But the solution is this early warning system that they are trying to create, about giving you a text so that you can take shelter or evacuate, even if there's enough time for you to evacuate. So when I already, I have that in my mind. Problem and solution. Tsunamis are the problem. The early warning system is the solution. I'm ready to look at my choices. The author listed the causes of tsunamis. Nope. Okay. The author offered a solution to the problem of warning people about tsunamis. Ooh, I really like that one. We're going to dot it. The author compared the many different ways to warn people. Nope, the author only gave me one way to warn people. The author put the event of how tsunamis happen in order. Nope. So automatically, my best one here is going to be B. But remember, I've got to justify with word for word evidence. And I just picked a sentence that had a good signal word in it. I'll pick a different color to underline it for you. It says one solution that has been developed is the SMS tsunami warning system. And again, look at mine, kiddos. It is word for word. Okay? All right. Awesome job. What I want you to do, if you're struggling, if you're not picking the same ones I'm picking, if your text evidence doesn't look like my text evidence, or you just struggle to even pick any text evidence at all, leave me a comment. Let me know, because remember, this is our goal. And if we're struggling to meet it, then you've got to let me know so that I can offer you some support. Okay? All right. So what you're going to do for me now is you're going to go do the text structure exit ticket 2. Remember, leave me a private comment on Google Classroom. Have mom or dad send me a remind, and I promise I will be there to help you out.